We are back. New bit of cardboard underneath there. The other one's saturated with oil. It was spilled all over the floor. And it's still on the floor. Update. Our GB weld has hardened. Those two pinholes are repaired. Do we have any more pinholes? I hope not. There's some other damage to that sump. There's a dent here, dent there, dent there. And it was quite badly corroded inside, right? But I'm so far down the road with this sump that I really don't want to kind of give up on it. So I'm going to once again put some oil in here. We do have a pressure release valve in here now, right? And I think we're all buttoned up on this sump. Tighten this up. We're going to try twirling it again. And hopefully this time I don't make as much of a mess when I put the oil in. One hopes. Right. You know, I suddenly thought, why am I putting up with this being wiggly with the doodah that came with it? I'll just get a larger diameter bolt or something, put that in there in a moment. But right now we need to twirl. And remember the last time it was so heavy. Fantastic. Now we're getting oil pouring out from the fuel pump. Why, you may ask? I don't know. Why would oil pour out the fuel pump? Because it backfilled and I had it upside down. That's probably not good. OMG. Don't know. And we do need a dipstick. Dipstick from my engine in my Opel. It so goes against my grain, but I'm putting that in there. Why? No, I'm saying I'm putting that in there. Maybe I'm not. What? Why won't that go in? Is there something weird about that? Don't be giving me shit now. Why isn't that exactly the same as mine? Mine's goes all the way in there. Why would it hit anything? That's interesting. The one out the other engine, oh, it's the same length. Also doesn't want to go in there. Why? Why? Some crud come out of it. Oh my god. What? Is this full of crud? No, come on. Now behave. Cannot be. I also have this other really bent dipstick. See it? But okay, so now we have 3 dipsticks. We went from having 0 to 3. I need a flashlight to try and peer into that Can you see down in there? Absolutely not. You cannot see down in there. So don't even bother trying. Oh my god. So I'm trying to imagine what's down in there. The dipstick has to go down past the oil screen. So is it possible it's hitting on the oil screen? What's going on? There's a little tunnel that goes down past the screen. There's not a punk mess there, but I mean I don't know what that means. What does it mean? Somebody give me a clue. Why can't I get that dipstick in there? I'm trying to think back. I really don't know. Let's put some more oil in it and we'll see if it spills out again. At least we'll be able to tell if our fix of the original problems has worked. Right, who knows? Here we go. It was dribbling out fast by now, last time around. You hear a drippity drip, but not to the extent it was before. It's got to be good, right? It's got to be good. Yeah, so let's say that's mission accomplished as far as that's concerned. We can put our pulley wheel on, and when I steal the rotor arm from my car, because the rotor arm that was on this is damaged. We're going to spend some time and actually fix that rotor arm though. Maybe we need to get the flashlight underneath there. There is a drip. I don't know exactly where that's coming from, but let's just check to see. Might be a loose bolt that we can just tighten up, in which case no biggie. But if it's another hole, we need to rinse, repeat. I don't see any catastrophic oil loss, not from the sump pan. There is a drip of oil coming from here, which is because I turned the engine upside down. It's like the oil coming out of the fuel pump, you know. Oil has got to places it shouldn't have got to, like inside the dynamo here. There's a drip oil coming out of there. because I've turned the engine upside down. There was obviously residual oil, there's probably oil in the bores and stuff as well. I'm going to call that okay. Mission successful on the sump, right? Now let's just spend a minute, we'll put the correct rotor cap. The rotor cap off my engine needs a little bit of love. So let's do that real quick with a little bit of emery cloth. And then we know that we're going to have to set the point gap, and I probably file the points a little bit here in just a moment, probably. But well, let's put the rest of the oil in here. What does that dipstick say? Nothing. Oh, actually, it does say some. No, it doesn't say nothing here. So let's put some more oil in there. Not much left of this guy. We'll put whatever's left in here and check it for oil level again. And what we're going to say that is a couple of pints. That's it, empty. I picked up at tractor store. We'll put a pint in, and then I'll check the level again. Bear in mind that we don't really have a legitimate way of checking the level. How are we going to check this oil level if we don't have a dipstick? Let's say that's 2 quarts. Yeah, that's it coming up on the dipstick now. Is it 6 pints? Does anyone remember? Oh my god, this is a shit show, man. I've got to look that up. Anyway, it's right up on the full mark now, and that is not all the way in, so probably overfilled it. Let's say that's good enough. Baby's turning nicely, I like it. Look at her little rotor arm going round and round, I never noticed that a second ago, but now I'm noticing it. We're good. And our points opening and closing. Yes, they are. Let's put the new plugs in. Are these the new plugs? No, these are not the new plugs. They're pretty good looking plugs, some of them. This is a horse of an entirely different colour. Yeah, and that's not right at all. So this is when we didn't do anything with that. Let's put that somewhere else because it shouldn't be there. I'll tell you that, find that in. Let's put that over there. Put those three. And that lot. Let's bring these guys over. Over. And we'll put these in for real, I think. Because we were getting good spark out of these before. So why would we think we're not getting good spark out of them now? Yeah, you know, I won't put them in for real because we want to test them for spark before we do anything drastic, right? So let's just put them in here as placeholders right now, and that's the plugs there. We'll fix that up. Oh wow. Wow, look at this. This is very interesting. You know, I was trying to start that old engine. Look, no gap. A piston hit that. Or something hit it. What the hell happened to that plug? Oh. That's not a good thing. And there's a legitimate reason why that little engine didn't start. You know, there's a real systemic problem with it. It doesn't matter, we'll open it up, have a look. Why won't that quite cooperate? Alright, I'll just open that back up again, but I'm a little bit worried about that plug now. It looks gummed. You know, as if it's been smacked around a bit, which maybe it has. Maybe it has. Right, we'll need to look out for that one. Right, FYI. Oops, is upside down. Doesn't matter. We'll get to it later. Wow, this one's in the same boat. The gap has been completely closed on this one. Has it though? Not quite. You know, you're supposed to set the gap on these. What is it supposed to be? I can't quite remember, but not as closed as that was. Yeah, something happened to those two plugs, huh? These are, I think, brand new plugs. I can't remember. I think they're brand new plugs. Can't actually remember if that's true or not. Anyway, we'll put them in. A few threads there, right? Screwing in the whole way, thank you. Bearing in mind that we're going to take them back out again to check for spark. That does not want to screw in any more than what it is, which is fine by me. So, we have this. We want to put a starter on. And then we're getting close to taking this off the stand, putting it on our chassis here as a test bed, and then starting it on this chassis. Not the chassis we were starting another engine on. We'll start it on this, the 1928, quotation marks, not 1928 chassis. This is not a 1928 engine. I don't know what year it is, but it's more recent than that. It's coil ignition, not magneto, high compression head. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's a 1928 engine. So let's just put the distributor cap. No, we won't put the distributor cap on right now. Let's get the starter off my engine and put it in here. Here. And see what that looks like. Is that a deal? I wanted a dipstick. It's showing kind of full dipstick. So let's say it is. And that flywheel's turning nicely. There is compression, I can feel it. So starter first, I mean we could fit the starter once it's in the chassis, couldn't we? And it's less weight we need to lift with the hoist. So why don't we do that? Do we want to start it here on this? I don't think we do. I don't think it looks quite solid enough to me. If we put the starter in just now, it gives me something more solid to put my rope around, you know. I might prefer to do that, to be honest. Can we just do that then? And maybe not pull it off the engine stand right now. I kind of want to do that, yeah. There's even more weight on the engine stand though. That whole wooden piece on the engine stand, this piece is all bent from the weight of that engine. That's quite a weight for, is it 1/2 inch, 3/8 ply. It's actually too much force on that plywood. I need to do a better job if I'm going to continue to use that engine stand. This has been fine for, you know, when it's just the crankcase and then the block, but as soon as you start adding all the other stuff, it becomes problematic because it's actually too heavy for this weight of plywood, is what I'm saying. So, what else would I like to do before I take this off? So, what I read was these things, the felt seal that goes on here is way too thick. So we need to cut it. To cut it, we need an awfully steady hand or a really sharp utility knife, both probably. And my utility knife is all covered in blue ink right now, right? Remember I used it as a spreader. Yeah. Okay, so let's put it on here. And see if we can cut it in half. Can we get 2 out of the 1? I don't think we can do that. How about on here? Cut it in half. That's its on. This is for pity's sake. Can you see what I'm trying to do here? I'm trying to slice it in half. After it's sat in an oil bath, and probably not the best of ideas. I don't know, but I see what they mean about it being way too thick. It is way too thick, and the oil actually made it worse. It's even thicker, if you know what I mean. Anyway. the most part it cut right through, but some of it did not. Oh, almost there. Come on, baby. I mean, for something that's going to resist so much wear and tear, it looks awfully fragile. Okay. I want to leave that off the light because I'll tell you something. It also said there's supposed to be a lock washer on this. There was no lock washer on mine, which may of course be the problem with mine. That thread looks very shush. Right, so now if I tighten that up with no wash, yeah, obviously. This goes in on the taper, right? And then this goes on there, but it says there's supposed to be a lock washer on there, so let's just hesitate for a moment. Don't need manufacture a lock washer. You guys are not seeing what I'm doing at the front of the engine here, are you? No, you're seeing it now. Yeah, that big one's too big. So let's hold off on that. How about this one? That one does fit. But it's not a lock washer, it's just a regular washer. Could we bend that a little bit and stop this from spinning? Could we make it into a lock tab washer, in other words? Or do we need to actually make one? How could I make this regular washer into a lock washer? A tab, you know, that I would bend over. We need to get it back up again first. I mean, that other one that I'm looking at kind of gives me a clue, right? There was a notch taken out the inside diameter there. See? Yeah, it's too big because it. So if I cut a notch out of this and bent it, no, because I would need to bend it once my nut is in, right? There was something about how to tighten that as well. Because there's no keyway, right? It's just a tapered fit on that, and then but the nut has to be on a lock tab, or we just put some thread locker on it. Why don't we just do that? Put some thread locker on it. Isn't we getting a little dribble in here without it going everywhere? Probably not. There we go. Let's call that good enough. I always worry about this drying before I get, you know, where I got to get to, but it's never actually happened. and quite often I forget to put it on at all, and then I'm just going to put this wee top back in. The one that always fits. Thank God for it. So in my mind, this is forcing that taper on the crankshaft. It's not the crankshaft, it's the camshaft, apparently. I do apologise. So let's just tighten that up. Let's see if that still turns with the flywheel. Hopefully. There. So it's going to do something awful to that fan belt and put it in. Aye, aye, aye. I'm feeling the need for speed here and taking this off of this crickly crackly engine stand. We're still getting a wee drip of oil there. Catch it. You see it? I'm going to take this rotor arm off of there right now so we don't lose it. And let's huckle over to this chassis now. Right, I'm going to clear up the mess around here, and maybe we won't do it tonight, but we'll get ready for putting that engine right on here. Here's my 6-volt gas pump, fuel pump, which we may still use. I think there's nothing to stop me putting that engine right on here, and maybe even putting a couple of engine bolts in place. I definitely don't want to hurt this Bowden brake conversion. That's okay, we can do that. We are getting set up. Engine hoist, check. Some extra light for sure. And I'm just going to flick you around. The object of the mission this morning, of course, is to get that little guy, sorry, I'm going to have to move in front of you for a second, get the engine from the engine stand to aforementioned engine hoist, right? So I'm going to stop you, put you over here so you can watch the action as I try and move this. Just an FYI, we now have 2 Austin 7 engines sitting on the garage floor, and never thought here in America I would get to the situation where I have those 2 plus the one in the engine stand, 3, I'm not saying viable engines, but this one at the top of the frame here is the one we just spent, the cream cheese engine, the 1935 I think it was, that we spent a lot of time cleaning out the cream cheese, getting it turning, etc, etc. That one is ready to go in the car. That was the engine I was going to put in the car until I saw this one for sale. So that's good. This one down at the bottom of the frame, of course, is the one that we spent 80 hours trying to start and failed. There's a lot going on with that. We have to check it thoroughly. But that'll be the next one on the engine stand, right? But meanwhile, let me flick you around and let's see if we can move this without breaking anything, right? There's the engine stand over there, and the engine hoist is just to the left of you. going to take this one apart and see how this one went together. I'm saying that very optimistically, you know. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I be optimistic? I did have a socket that fitted that, remember? Try the biggest one. Too big. Too big. Still too big. Awesome. Appears to be the correct size. These little 2-bit things, honest to God. I'm not going to try and fix that, just then let's just give that a wee tap. Or not. I felt to me get it fitted there. I'm assuming that's going to be quite a bit of force to get that off of there. You know, it's interesting, I don't see any locking tabs or anything on this either. I don't see any washer, but could be wrong. Anyway, I think that fits. You just need to somehow get it on there with a firm encouragement. That's a big 1/2 inch. Let's use a big 1/2 inch socket wrench. Clockwise. Here's some footing. Not too bad, actually. too bad. The right tool helps, of course. Won't be very easy to get out of there, will it? Probably not. Using the same persuasive powers, maybe. Screwdriver stuck in there. Right, yeah. So that goes right there just now. There is a washer indeed. Lock washer? No. Oh, it's a spring washer. Interesting, skinny spring washer. Now, according to what I read, we hit this on the spoke down, and that should shake it loose from the taper. And there's no more. So we need a good solid punch to get a solid whack on that. Not a punch, I wouldn't call it solid punch. Okay. Let's try it, guys. Right? Put it on the pin here. Engineer's file as well. We won't use a ball peen, we'll use our engineers. My dad used to call us a mash hammer, because you mash your thumbs, I guess. So the idea is you hit it here, I think. Exactly know why that's supposed to work, to be truthful, but that's what they say. Right, hit it on the, let's hit it vertically on the spindle. It did, look at that, it did do something. Wow, it got loose suddenly on this one. Look at that. Wow. These guys know what they're talking about. Oh look, there's some kind of thing in there. What's that? Oh, it's the wee felt washer, see how skinny? Okay. And that was it, I guess. Okay. So there you go, that's twice I've done that and it worked. Oh look, this broke off. Oh. Well, that's not good, man. We'll take this off and then we'll take this little bit. I thought that was strange looking. How did that come off like that? Okay, so our little doodly what's. Gets this off, right. I've got anything even close to that size, because then we can use our electric wrench, right? Nothing even close to that one. I do have saved an order for a 1/4 inch Whitworth. The much smaller one, right? The one that's missing here. And we're missing a few sizes, that works fine. Okay. We need to unscrew the engine oil. I did not think this was a source of engine oil leaks. Shows you how well put together the stuff my dad did. Right? I'm holding this, number one, I don't want it to fall on the floor, but number two, I want to carefully examine the way it comes off and what's in here. What's in here is the starter dog and nothing in the way of a felt seal or anything. Let's have a look at this, so you guys can see as well. I mean, obviously I'm looking at it. What did that fall in there? What is that? Just smush. Don't honestly know. Ow. So let me show you what's inside here. So that's the starting handle dog, right? So that goes in and engages. It's on a spring, see? It engages with the crankshaft and turns the crankshaft. So how the hell do you get that out of there? And conversely, how the hell do you get it in there? Do I just take the start handle off and insert? Yeah, maybe I could do. Okay, let's bring it over to the bench. Our bench have engine oil everywhere. Just to further accentuate what I'm saying, I think I need to take the starting handle off and then this shaft and the spring come out. I don't know, I can't remember what happened. I know the nose cone broke off, the one from Queen's, the cream cheese engine, right? And hence my dad gave me a new nose cone, right? That's what's on that other engine that we're working on. This is off the export model from Queen's. But I don't remember the shaft of the spring. It might be somewhere. There's one other place where I kept spares in a little plastic bin there. But meanwhile we have this off, right? So let's just concentrate on this just now. And we'll take the starting handle off. I probably can't see the top of this, right? I'm going to take the starting handle off, assuming I can, and then we'll take that shaft and the spring out of there. I think there's supposed to be a seal though. I'm bringing all my wrenches because I need them. The STP I probably don't need. There's my little ubiquitous, seems to fit everything, and it fits this too. I believe this is a quarter, correct me if I'm wrong, and what I have to do is just loosen that off sufficient to get a little boop on there, which you want to do with a little punch. I don't know exactly how much I need to move that. That looks almost welded. If you look at the end of that, it looks almost welded in there, doesn't it? Bloody hell. That's all we need. Let's give that cotter pin another dunt. Come on. The cotter pin definitely moved. I can avow to that. So let's just remove the nut altogether. If this ruins the cotter pin, then so be it. But we need to get the starting handle off. It's always handy to have another starting handle. And this starting handle, I'll put, you know, a new brass ferrule on that. I'm sure I can order it. And then I'll fit it to this engine that we're just going to assemble, then start. Come on, baby, you want to come off. The thing about the punches and all that is you definitely affect the threads, don't you? This is stripped, I think. Doesn't want to come off. Oh, there we go. As soon as I said that, come off. You always got to make sure you take these little stubborn washers off, because sometimes the washers can stop a whole thing coming out, you know. You know what I mean, don't you? Does this drive all the way through? I don't think so. Guess it does. I would have said that was one that you just loosened off. But it's not, if you can see that. You have to drive it in and then drive it all the way out again. Let's just put this washer and that nut back on there again. Oh, it's a little brass nut. I wasn't very keen. Is this starting handle just going to gently pull off of there now? Is this possible? No, it's not possible. Can we drive it out without hurting anything? It's moving. Of course, when I'm banging that, I'm banging it against that alloy, right? So little taps, I think. I'm not hitting this hard at all. Tap, tap, tippity tap, tippity, tippity, tippity tap. And hope I don't break anything, because that would be a shame. Its teeth. It is coming out though, see? The hollowness. I see the end of the spring. wonder if that got bent at some point, you know, banged into a car in front of it or something. I suppose these things can happen. But I was not keen about coming off of there. And I want to investigate this 6 o'clock position self-sealing stuff as well. And I need to investigate if this little felt seal fits in here somewhere. From looking at the way the oil come out of that, I would say it should have some kind of felt seal on it. Spring, shaft comes out the other way. That, with the little cotter pin, goes into ours, and we are going to substantially clean that up. We do have this little nose cone now. Look at the smoosh in here. That's off that engine that we spent so much time trying to start, and this bit broke off, right? So we'll glue that back on to that little housing, but meanwhile that nose cone is our backup, right? Let's get this spring and get a nice little clean, and I think we'll put some grease on the shaft, wouldn't we? I think we would. This spring looks, I mean, I don't know, how do you know if a spring looks okay? It's not terribly corroded or anything. This has shown some significant wear over the years, and especially where that starting handle goes on, it has got a lot of markings on it, right? Can you see that? Oof. That has been gubbed around, my friends, as we would say in Scotland. Maybe I'll run the wire brush on this a little bit, huh? Clean it up, put some grease on it before we put it into our engine. But that's a relief, right? So now we know. But I'm going to go and look to see if there's some other seal goes in here. Goes in the shaft maybe? Or here at this end. This, you know, what I was thinking is this little seal, and that, you know, fit in there somewhere. The dog has to fit in there, but where would you, did that just fall out of there? What was that? Oh, something, what's this? Glasses das. Looks like a little crush washer. Maybe that goes in there somewhere? I don't know. But I feel as if that felt seal might have something to do with it. I'll check that. I'll take a break just now and I'll come back to you guys with the taking off of the nose cone of the engine that we just put down. Our engine we're going to try and start today if we get to it. Then we'll take that nose cone, we'll take the dynamo out, distributor off, dynamo out, take that nose cone off, and then not put this nose cone on but put this starter shaft. And I have to go research right now about if there's a felt seal in it. Okay, so more later. This is that shaft that I did not put into the front nose cone, and this is the starting handle that come off of that shaft. I just marked the end of the shaft, how far this will go in. The indent for the cotter has to go at the bottom, so if I do that you'll see how far it goes in till it gets stuck. That's where I put that mark, right? And that mark, when you bring it up to the top, is only about half the distance that it has to engage. It has to engage all the way up in there. Now I know it came out of there and I can beat it back on again, but that's supposed to come on and off quite easily in my humble opinion. Does it mean it's bent? I don't think that's what it means. I think it means it has to be, I mean, I tried to put grease in that so it would go in easier, but I think I have to grind it some more. You know those marks on it? I'm going to grind it some more just in a minute. On here, this is my little lightweight grinder. The wire brush on the end here. I really don't want to take too much material off. I need to do something. That is not one to blend this. Really keep the end of the material off the hulls here. I really don't want to take it much off. Still has that kind of ribbed scratch mark stuff on it. I'll try and take that off. What do you think? I'll try it back on the starting handle. It's the starting handle that came. This is the starting handle that came off of that bar, right? Remember, the indent has to go to the bottom. There we go. That's just about where I want it, I think. And then the cam will hold it in place. Let's just check that. This is the little doohickey. So the indent goes in the bottom. This cotter pin goes through and jams that up. Jams it up. Maybe. Oh, maybe not. One goes in one way. One goes in one way. Anyway, yes, see, jams it up. It did only go in one way. But anyway, that's proof of concept, right? So let's go through that with the spring. Well, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Let's mock this up, right? So this goes in like that, right? But the spring goes in first. Let's mock it without putting it in the aluminum tube, right? That would then go in like so, I believe. Doesn't it have to? The spring has to go in there somehow. Maybe the spring has to go in this way. I guess the spring has to go in like that. And it doesn't quite line up. That's very interesting, isn't it? Anyway, the tube has to go. The tube has to go in. Let me put you back a bit so you can see what's going on here, because there's quite a range here. Right, and then the spring goes like this, right? And the starting handle, there has to be a washer and that felt seal in there like that. Has to go on this side. How does it go? So I put the seal on there and then stick this in and hope for the best. Yeah, something like that, right? But the felt seal in a washer has to go in there first. So let's do that again. So a washer you can just see an eventuality here where that spring goes kipping. Am I right? That washer will not fit over there. That could be the washer. Aforementioned washer. And this seal has to... Yeah, that's not going to work. Because that seal has to be in the inside of that, right? So the spring goes in that way, and the seal goes in this way. Now, if the seal has to be there before the spring, it's going to end up way at the bottom there, that shaft in it. So take this nose cone off. This has to be almost pre-fitted, doesn't it? It does really. No, that felt seal didn't fit on there, does it? I think it's supposed to, you know. Maybe just slide down a little bit. It's gonna. Blimey. It's supposed to be that tight? Probably, huh? I have to get that beyond. I'm going to fit that dowel, the corner pin, right? It goes. Told you that was going to happen, didn't I? I have a feeling that went in here, but yeah. That was funny. I did tell you it was going to happen, didn't I? You need something underneath here beyond just my glove. How much? I need to push that up there, like so. Yeah. Okay, so washer, which fell out of here, remember? And then this, and quickly slap it. Quickly, the start handle. Has to slide in there somehow. And that don't I want it. Yeah. This is all there. Oh my goodness me. There you go. Something happened. Something happened. So that the cam lines up right. Quite a bit of pressure against it there. I think this is going like it is. Wow, that was some work there, dudes. I don't think I ever had that seal in there before. Ever. Wow. Is this little sucker going to... No, the threads are completely gubbed on it. I mean, it seemed to screw on. I can put some Loctite on that, right? I don't know why I'm putting these gloves back on, because now they're just going to be as dirty inside as they were outside. But I think that's that. If we can just clean this up. Oops, I don't want to drop that in my glasses. So this is the 3 o'clock angle that they're talking about, which would remain sealed. No, it's not really. That one? Yeah, that one. So that's the 3 o'clock angle that would remain sealed and not let oil, crud in or oil out, right? And then you would push it in, engage, starting handle stuff, and then back you would engage it back again and leave it in, right? That's the point, you leave it in. And then that little seal there seals against any intrusion of nasty stuff. Remember I told you there's a broken bit here, so let's see if we can get that off without causing any further damage. And use this nose cone, because I really don't want to go through that again, if you don't mind. Put that wee bolt back on there in a minute. That wee bit shouldn't be broken off. Let's just put those 2 wee washers back on there, because that's where they come off. I'll put that little bolt back on the table. And let's just quickly clean this off a little bit and see if we can just use this, instead of the one that's actually on the engine just now that I fitted. If there's nothing actually wrong with this, it would save me a world of heartache trying to just do what I did here on the bench down in there. Seems to be not too bad. I'm cleaning it up here. Filthy, but they all seem to be filthy, right? So is it one piece? That's the thing. Old gasket material. You can hardly avoid it. This is not gasket material, this is just smush. Nice to clean off. I just hope we can get the other one off without ruining the paper gasket. Remember, we put nice new gasket on that one. This looks good. I think reasonably good. Let's see. Still some dirt in there. Okay. There is a little oil wheat hole there, which I suppose I should scoosh down. Okay, shall we give this a try? This is the complete assembly which I'm going to try and put into where we had so proudly done it before. Right, so here, right in front here. So now, since all the oil poured out here, remember earlier this morning, now we're going to take all of that off, put this on, because now we've mounted the seal and everything in here, and because we found out, no, you can't just leave that without a start handle. I mean, you probably could if you completely block this up with silicone or something and put an extra pint of oil in it, because it would just be full of oil, but I think all this joint would start to leak then. So now we need to take this pulley wheel back off again, take the nuts and bolts out, take the dynamo off to be sure that we don't damage anything. Yeah. Everything has to come off again. Blimey. Never rains but it pours, huh? Okay, what we're going to do for a light over here. I do need little lights, darling. Okay. So, hi ho, away we go. Hi ho, away we go. Okay, dokie. We will see what we can do. I believe this is the one that we said fitted. That's indeed. We have one little bolt underneath there, I'll get it in a minute. I'm glad the Loctite wasn't permanent Loctite, I couldn't remember. In which case you need to heat it to get the threads to loosen, you know. This lamp is completely gubbed already. I only just bought it. Dropped once on the floor, it's toast. Okay. Can I just pull this off still? No, you cannot. So I need to do the strike thing again with this. The strength down in here, didn't we? And it seemed to work best. Let's just take the glove off. And then come on. I better not have one at all than when it flickers. Right, let's see. Barely getting on that. This one's better. Seems to work every time, man. So awesome. Let's see if we can boost this up a little bit. And then we can get that last bolt out. A little bit of something under there. Really going on. Right, let's try and put this underneath here somehow, so we can get in that last bolt. Don't want to lift by that nose going right. It's not ideal, but roof up. Now, something else under there, look. Oh shit. More oil escaping. Oh my god. What am I like? Put that under there. And you just stay there for a minute. For fucking hell's teeth sakes. Okay, so that was full of oil because the rest of it was full of oil, right? And it's trying to come off because there's nothing holding that on now. So we need to quick get the dynamo off of there. For that we need all the wrenches again. we're going from one puddle of oil to the next puddle of oil. Oh my goodness me. Heavens to Betsy. I mean, it's hard to believe the level of incompetence. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Let's get this. First of all, stop this goddamn shimmying. Let's take the distributor off first. Okay. Screwdriver. That'll do. Big old gloves are perfect for when we need big old gloves. Right now we don't need big old gloves, we need little gloves. Let's take this distributor out, first of all. Put this away somewhere safe. We do not want to mess with that. And I've got to say, guys, I'm getting a little bit tired. I'm going to just say that. I'm glad of the screwdriver slot and that big bolt. FYI. Oh my god. Do not have a washer for that, so let's get that real quick. Don't want to lose it. Do I? Do I? Would I? No, I would not want to lose that. Oh, dear me. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, can we just take that off then? I was going to take the whole dynamo off. Can I just take the housing off without breaking nothing? Probably not. How did we do that? We did it with that little thingy bob. This one. And 2 3/8 joints, right? That's how we did it. That fits on there like that. Right. This one is loose already. Tighten up a little bit. Get the other joint for this one. Let's take it out the way we put it in. Comprende? That's 3/8 socket and a 3/8 extension. That's what we're looking for. Here we have it. Conveniently situated exactly where we left it last time. Yeah, I think I want to take this dynamo off. I don't want to take any chances with Can you guys see this? Sorry, I'm kind of concentrating trying to get this done. Okay. Now, the last one, and you have to, from memory, remember, we said you have to catch the damn thing. You have to catch the damn thing when it comes out. Although we still have the one on the top there. Remember that? This little one. So, maybe I can just catch it when it comes off here. This is the little pinky bolt, remember? The pinky bolt. It's loose already. Everything's loose. Good or bad. I might not screw that other one, the one in the back, out enough. Yeah, that's a fair old length. It's only okay. This little guy is not completely disengaged yet. As easily as I thought it would, because it's gone in there and meshed with the gears, right? So this damn thing is useless. I still want to take that dynamo off. I still want to do it. I'm sure that's disengaged now. But thing won't come off without the whole thing coming off. Why won't that just wiggle right off there? So I'm going to take that one, these three off, to be able to take the whole thing off in one go. I just don't quite understand why it won't. Disengage. Okay, so I just sit there just now. I'll have to be careful. Careful, 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 my little friendlikins. Oh, you don't want to do nothing. I don't quite understand why that dynamo won't come out of there. Am I missing a bolt or something? Of course, this is a problem with putting the engine in there before we're completely assembled, right? You run into these kind of problems. Something just popped up. Meary. A little bit of wood would be ideal. That is too thick. Nope. This one there. This kind of didn't kind of give me something. Give me a little loving, baby. Okay, it did not. So let's stop fighting the inevitable and just take off these little bolts. Three of them. We don't need to take that off. This one we need to take off. Yeah. Is that right? Yeah, because that will just come right off with the entire thing, I think. So this is the last bolt actually holding us in to the crankcase, is it? Yeah, because that's in the front. This is only one in the back. As soon as this comes off, is that whole thing going to fall? Those ducks are quacking again, huh? Is that right, that we can just, if we take that off of there, you can just lift that thing right out? Not entirely sure. I think we need to take it all off. Yeah. Okay. Excuse my French. And of course we busted the... Why did that darn thing not come off? There was that bolt that wouldn't come out. Because it's so... Oh! Because of the kiwi thing. That was not screwed all the way out. Part of it. Look at that, how solid it is. Put this over here out of the way. For crying in the mud, that was a challenge. And which bit was this that fell? I don't know. Anyway, so that was this one. And there's the other half of that gasket. Oh, how wonderful. So that would go here, like so. Just put that on there just now. Put that on there like that. And then this would go on like so. Righty ho. And that would go on like that. And we'll put some blue stuff on there to kind of hold it. And meanwhile, we need to put that little felt seal what we had. And put it back on there. Let's put a couple of nuts and bolts in this, shall we? I don't think there's anything to stop us with that, is there? We have one wee bolt to put in here, don't forget that. Let's just continue to try and get these in here while we still have some energy left. At least the big paper gasket didn't demolish itself. Huh? Pinky bolt. Remember the pinky bolt? Need to remember which is which here. This one. Washer. This comes with that. This could go like that one. Let's pretend it did. This would be the last one down in the bottom here. Catching my little rubber dub. Little rubber dub. You screwing in there, wee guy. Little guy. Appear to want to and they're all the same. For some reason that's not a good one. Screws up perfectly before. Why? What now? Really, I'm getting tired, I don't understand exactly why, but I am. Oh, that's the little pinky bolt. We can't use the pinky bolt. Need it. You need it. It must be this one. not as easy as I thought it was going to be. And I'm sorry it took so much time, but that's what it is, my friends. That's what it is. I don't think we'll get any blue Hylamar left, so I might just have to wing it with that paper gasket. I'm going to put that pulley wheel on first though. Cheapers, creepers, man. Why so much of the hard workiest? Okay. Big washer. Voila. Big nut. Put some more red stuff on it. I put a little dod of the cheap thread locker. Maybe I should invest in the real stuff. This is just the stuff at Harbour Freight. I didn't see me lock anything right, I just screwed it right off. That's a story for another day. Quite adequate. Now, what's this gasket looking like? An unmitigated disaster? Probably. Put that wee pipe under there again. Then let's put the alloy piece on first. We'll separate it from the dynamo. I don't like that being all of one piece. It's in two different pieces for a reason, right? Well, the theory was take that alloy piece off, it doesn't want to come off, so can just set it down there and hope for the best. So there's nothing holding that dynamo onto that alloy housing right now. Why did I put that pulley wheel on first? ones are for elsewhere. I think this is for in here. Except it's not catching. Looks as if it would go in there. It's going to. Okay. And we have maybe that was the one for in there. Probably. But there's another one goes there. So that means we're missing a little. Oh, no. Yeah, we are, because that's the 3 for the dynamo. No, we're not missing nothing. Right, so. This one has to go down in here, and that gasket moved. Okay. Big long one down through here with the screw draft. 2 in there, 1 in there. Right. And then we're back to square one again. Can we just for shits and giggles turn that over for a second? Even before it's all plugged in. No, I can't. Why can't we? Because we didn't engage that before we put it in. Shit, man. What did we do wrong there? Yeah, there you go. Just need to push it in. Okay. So, this big one in first, huh? Have to kind of push it in a little bit, else you'll be screwing forever. Okay, that's it. Okay. These two fit that side, that side. Did lose that little pinky bolt. I don't know why. I think there's a little nut and bolt on this one, what I didn't take off. And this goes in that way with this. Right. Remember, it has to wiggle, 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 wiggle. Righty-ho. Come on baby, just screw in there. It's got a lot of threads, so you want to just be patient. Keep on screwing, screwing, screwing. Keep thinking it's tightening up. Yes it is. Okay. Come on, baby. And I think I put the pinky bolt in there, which means I'm a bolt short here, so but I think it's the same as this one. This one, see? Excuse me. Maybe not. That is well in there. So let's just leave that the way it is. And we'll find another little bolt that will fit in there. Have a couple of little options here, and this is a little from the sump, because remember two of the bolts didn't work from the sump. We had to put larger diameter bolts in there. Nope. I got to admit, I'm exhausted, dudes. I don't know if I can do much more tonight. Honest engines, and I'm not BSing you. Don't need a lot on that. Okay, do we need to put the fan belt and everything on? I think we do. I think we can clunk this back down the way it's supposed to be. Put the starter on. But maybe I'll do that tomorrow. I'm knackered, man. Not often I'm quite as tired as this, but I'll tell you, something just hit me like a brick wall there. Don't know exactly what. I'll take that out of there, this out of there, put it back down again. Okay. So we're back in action. I don't know if you can see that starting handle, but let's just say you can. And I'm going to turn that engine over. Watch this. There's that wrench. So, clunk it in, turn it over, get that out of the sucker. Ooh. There you go. So let's just call that a day for now, huh? Because I'm telling you, I have zero energy left. Oh dear. Send me that rubber glove. 20 to 4, no real wonder that I'm tired, huh?